The smell of permanent marker fumes hit me as I walked into my room. I froze when I saw my nephew sitting on the floor with my pristine $1,500 Travis Scott Air Jordan 1s, aggressively coloring over the premium suede swoosh with a thick black Sharpie. My brain simply refused to process the image. It was like seeing the Mona Lisa being used as a placemat. "Liam," I whispered. My voice didn't sound like mine. It sounded like a ghost. Liam, 8M, looked up. He was beaming. His hands were stained with black ink. "Hi, Uncle OP. I'm making them cooler." I walked over to him, my legs feeling like lead. I looked at the shoes. The reverse mocha colorway is famous for its subtle, creamy tones, the white leather, the brown nubuck, the sail midsole. It's a masterpiece of understated hype. Now, it was a massacre. Liam had taken the broad-tip Sharpie and colored the entire reverse swoosh jet black. But because he was 8, he hadn't stayed in the lines. The ink had bled onto the white leather quarter panel. It had soaked into the delicate nubuck, spreading like a virus through the pores of the material. He hadn't stopped there. He had written his name, Liam, in jagged, block letters across the toe box. They were too plain, Liam explained, capping the marker with a satisfying click. So I gave them a design, like the ones on TV. I reached out and picked up the left shoe. The fumes made my eyes water. The ink was still wet in places, glistening in the light. "These cost $1,500, I choked out. These were dead stock. Never worn." "They're just shoes," Liam shrugged, grabbing his iPad. "Mom said you have too many anyway. She said you wouldn't mind if I practiced my art." "Your mom said that?" I turned my head toward the hallway. My sister, Jessica, was in the kitchen, chatting on the phone. She had brought Liam over for an afternoon visit while she ran errands, but decided to stay for coffee. I walked out of the room, holding the ruined sneaker like a severed head. "Jessica," I said. She turned around, smiling. "Hey, did Liam show you his project?" He was so quiet in there, I figured he was really focusing. "His project?" I held up the shoe. Jessica squinted. "Oh, look at that. He colored it. That's actually kind of creative. It looks like those, what are they called? Customs." "He ruined it," I said, my voice trembling. "Jessica, this is a Travis Scott Jordan 1. It's a limited edition. It's worth $1,500. And he wrote his name on the toe." Jessica laughed. She waved her hand dismissively. "Oh, stop it. It's a sneaker. You can just wash it off. Or buy a new pair. It's cute that he wanted to improve it for you." "Improve it?" I shouted. He destroyed the value. Sharpie doesn't wash off nubuck. It's permanent ink on porous leather. "Lower your voice," she snapped. "You're scaring him. It's just a shoe. Honestly, OP, you care more about your collection than your family. It's pathetic. Just get some acetone or something. It'll come right off." I looked at the black ink bleeding into the beige suede. I looked at my sister, who thought acetone was a magic eraser for leather. Spoiler, it melts it. "You're paying for this," I said. "I am not," she said, turning back to her phone. "I'm not paying for a shoe you left out where a child could find it. That's negligence." I wasn't negligent. I had them on a shelf. He climbed. I looked at the shoe. I looked at the black void where the swoosh used to be, and I realized that the only thing blacker than the ink was the rage building in my chest. I walked back into my room, Jessica trailing behind me. Liam was still sitting on the floor, uncapping a red marker now, eyeing the laces of the second shoe. "Don't touch it." I snapped, snatching the second shoe, the left one, off the floor. Thankfully, it only had a small black dot on the heel. It was salvageable, maybe. But the right one? The right one was a Sharpie-scented corpse. "You are so mean to him," Jessica sighed, leaning against my door frame. She looked at the shoes again, tilting her head. "Honestly, OP, look at the contrast. The black really makes the white pop. Before, they were just boring brown. They looked like old coffee filters. Now they have personality." "Personality?" I stared at her, clutching the shoes to my chest. "Jessica, this isn't a coloring book. This is a Travis Scott collaboration. The boring brown is specific nubuck leather. It's supposed to look like that." Well, it looks dirty, she sniffed. Liam fixed it. He gave it a modern look. You should be encouraging his artistic side. Did you know his teacher said he has excellent pen control? Look at those letters on the toe. Ela u amil. Very straight lines. I looked at the jagged scrawl on the toe box. It looked like a ransom note. I don't care about his pen control, I said through gritted teeth. I care about the $1,500 he just scribbled over. Jessica rolled her eyes. Oh, stop with the money. You always bring up money. My shoes cost $1,000. My car costs this much. It's tacky. Besides, nobody pays that for sneakers. I saw Nikes at the outlet for $40 last week. You probably paid $50 for these and you're just trying to make me feel bad. I have the StockX receipt. I yelled. I can show you right now. The resale market sets the price. And right now, the price of this shoe is $0. Well, that's your fault for buying shoes you can't wash, she countered. Just put them in the washing machine with some bleach. Or use nail polish remover. Acetone takes Sharpie right off. Acetone eats leather. I shouted, if I put acetone on this nubuck, it will turn into a bald, white patch. It will ruin the texture. You cannot clean Sharpie off suede. You're just making excuses to be mad, Jessica said, checking her watch. Look, we have to go. Liam has soccer practice. Stop crying over your shoes. If you really hate the art, just color the whole thing black. Then there'll be black shoes. Problem solved. Problem solved. I felt dizzy. You owe me $1,500. I am not giving you a dime, she declared, grabbing Liam's hand. I'm not paying for your buyer's remorse. You bought ugly shoes. My son tried to make them pretty, and now you want to pay out? No way. Come on, Liam. Your uncle is being a Grinch. Liam stood up, wiping his inky hands on his pants. Did I do good, Mom? You did great, sweetie, she cooed. He just doesn't understand art. She turned and walked out. If you leave, I called out, I'm taking this to court. Go ahead, she yelled back from the hallway. Sue a child for coloring. See how that looks. The front door slammed. I stood in the silence of my room. The smell of Sharpie was giving me a headache. She thought I was bluffing. She thought art was a valid defense for destruction of property. I put the shoes down on my desk. I took out my phone. I didn't call the police. I called the Sneaker Laundry, the best restoration shop in the city. I needed an expert to tell me exactly how dead these shoes were. And then, I was going to send Jessica the bill. I drove to Hypevault, the premier sneaker consignment shop in my city. I knew the owner, Mike. He's a guy who handles $100,000 collections. I walked in carrying the box. Mike, I said, I need an appraisal. Mike opened the box. He took out the left shoe, the clean one. Reverse mochas? Nice. Dead stock? I'd say we could list these for $1,600 easily. Then I took out the right shoe. Mike actually choked on his coffee. What? What is that? My nephew, I said. Sharpie. Mike picked up the shoe gingerly, as if it were radioactive. He inspected the bleeding ink. He rubbed the nubuck. It's cooked, he said flatly. The ink has bonded with the suede fibers. If we try to clean it, it'll turn into a gray smear. If we dye it, it's a custom and loses 90% of the value. In this state, it's worthless. I can't sell this. It's a paperweight. He wrote me an official appraisal. Pair condition, destroyed or damaged. Market value, intact $1,600. Current value, $50, donor souls only. Total loss, $*$$1, $550. The invoice. I took a picture of the appraisal. I sent it to Jessica. Subject, reimbursement for damaged property. Jessica, attached is the professional evaluation. The shoes are worthless. You owe me $1,550. Please pay within 30 days. She replied with a voice memo. I cannot believe you went to a store to get a piece of paper for a shoe. You are obsessed. I asked my friend who paints, and she said it's art. I'm not paying you $1,500 for a prank. Get a life. The court case. I filed in small claims court. Jessica showed up wearing oversized sunglasses, looking annoyed. She didn't bring a lawyer. She brought a printed picture of a pair of knockoff Jordans from a scam website listed for $120. Your Honor, she told the judge, my brother is trying to rob me. These shoes are cheap. He just wants money for his addiction. I handed the judge the StockX sales history. I handed him Mike's appraisal on company letterhead. I handed him the photos of the Sharpie destruction. The judge said, looking at the photos. The plaintiff has provided expert testimony on the value of these collectibles. You cannot argue with market data using a printout from https://www.google.com/search?q=cheapkicks.com. But he's a kid, she argued. He was being creative. He defaced property, the judge said, and you failed to supervise him. The verdict. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,550 plus court costs. Jessica gasped. I don't have that. I just bought a Peloton. Then you should have watched your son with the Sharpie, the judge said. The aftermath. She didn't pay. I garnished her wages. It took 6 months, but I got every cent. I bought a new pair. I keep them in a locked glass case now. Jessica tells the family I'm a Grinch who hates children. But honestly, every time I wear my fresh, clean reverse mochas, I feel pretty good. Art is subjective, but a court judgment? That's objective.